Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Red Barn Radio. I'm Renee Cobb. This is Red Barn Radio's 18th broadcast season, and this is Red Barn Radio's 666th live concert performance. Tonight, we present Charlie Woods and Deep Hollow, a progressive bluegrass group from East Kentucky who blend traditional tunes with a modern sound, singing songs about life and culture in Appalachia. The members of Charlie Woods and Deep Hollow include Woods on guitar and vocals, Josh Hensley on banjo, J.D. Thomas on bass, and Kyle Kleinman on mandolin, and Molly Page on fiddle. Let's welcome to the Red Barn stage Charlie Woods and Deep Hollow.
I feel like this being the 666th episode that we should probably open up in prayer. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's knowing that you're always there with arms open wide, and knowing that you'll love me and be standing by my side as we travel through the hilltops and the valleys way below. Your love was always with me, no matter where I roam. So railroad track is longer than the miles we've shared, like engines pulling freight cars to pay a poor man's bills. Two lovers standing side by side and making ends meet. We both understand the things that we need. And them skeletons in my closet, baby, you know, bone by bone. We share the deepest secrets only both of us can know. And they'll go with me to my grave, same as our love. Till we meet again, our love grows stronger like a bud. And know all these strip mines like the back of my hand. My tank is full, my tread is good to burn up these trails. Same ones that we traveled back when our love was young. Back when we had freedom, not a care in the world. Stops blood just to hear your sweetheart beat. Really tears me up and rattles through my ribcage like a vault's opened up. You're a tidal wave of blessings from the good Lord above. You're the sweetest honeysuckle, you're the apple of my eye. As pretty as the mountains tucked against the deep blue sky. There's nowhere in this whole wide world that I'd rather be. Wrapped up in your sweet arms, baby, love will set me free.
evening, and welcome to Red Barn Radio. Wherever in the world you're listening, welcome to the music of Kentucky. WEKU is Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, serving Central and Eastern Kentucky. WEKU is Kentucky's NPR station. Listen online at weku.fm. Red Barn Radio is supported by Visit Lex, Lexington, Kentucky's Convention and Visitors Bureau. More information on what Lexington has to offer is at visitlex.com. Lex Arts, Lexington, Kentucky's Arts Council, creating a great American city inspired by the arts. Chef Greg Scott and Broussard's Delta Kitchen, featuring authentic flavors of New Orleans and the Mississippi Delta, and live music every weekend. On Main Street in historic Georgetown, Kentucky, Broussard's is on Facebook. Listen locally, working in concert with people to embrace opportunities, listen locally, and engage in shared experiences, including music, theater, poetry, dialogue, and conversation. More on Facebook, Instagram, and listenlocally.net. Griffin Gate Resort and Spa, a luxury spa located in the Marriott, Lexington, Kentucky. The Griffin Gate Marriott Resort and Spa is the ideal choice for your next visit to Lexington, Kentucky. And Accuprint, providing printing, design, and fulfillment. Online at accuprint.us. Follow Red Barn Radio on Twitter and hopefully like us on Facebook. Now here again is the host of Red Barn Radio to tell you more about tonight's performance.
It was a really big deal for Charlie Woods and Deep Hollow to perform at the Rudy Fest Bluegrass Festival last year. That's because they are a new band that is quickly making their mark on the local roots music scene. Woods and his band recently recorded 12 tracks that will become Deep Hollow's new album. When it comes to writing original songs, Woods sticks with what he knows instead of making up fictitious tales, and we're all so happy about that. Let's get back to the music of Charlie Woods and Deep Hollow live here on the Red Barn stage.
This was called Rebel Without a Clue. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Grew up hard in a dried up town. Daddy worked all the time, was never around. Picked up bad habits at an early age. Drove mama crazy with the choices I made. She'd cry. Pray I'd see old age. I didn't care much school, didn't care much or nothing but good cold beer and some nighttime loving. Not good for a hole, I was strumming on strings. Raising the ruckus was my claim to fame, getting wild with nothing to prove. And too young to understand, and too dumb to give a damn about the nonsense I put myself through. Trying to be cool, a rebel without a clue. I guess I can blame it on my hillbilly roots. Cocaine, coffee, and cigarettes used to keep me running when I felt dead. I've kicked coffee and I've kicked the coke. These damn cigarettes still ain't broke that chain. Oh, they'll kill me one of these days. Always been attracted to outlaw things. My heroes are Willie, Waylon, and Hank. Burning up the road, lonesome, ornery, and mean. Craving the life of a honky-tonk dream somewhere outside of these hills. Too young to understand, too dumb to give a damn about the nonsense I put myself through. Trying to be cool, a rebel without a clue. I guess I can blame it on my hillbilly roots. I got a family who look up to me. I try like hell to be the man I should be. I do my best to keep it together, give them shelter when stormy weather rolls around. teach them right from wrong. I raise my children the best that I can, but it's hard sometimes the way I am to do the right thing and not see red. But it's hard when I'm wired like my old man, you know. I won't do them like you done me. I'm too young to understand, I'm too dumb to give a damn about the nonsense I put myself through. Trying to be cool, a rebel without a clue. I guess I can blame it on my hillbilly roots. I guess I'll just blame it on my hillbilly roots. This one here, I wrote about some redneck activities I may or may not have taken part in, and believe it or not, it's called Redneck. Class, Skinner back, give it gas, white trash, cold paps, cooking up some sour mash, make it just like my granddad did at his time. Catching bass, whooping ass, smoking grass, living fast, rebel flag flying in a truck bed half fast, rolling through the holler, black smoke coming from the stacks. Work boots, overalls, plaid shirts, camouflage, horseback, dirt track, money on a chicken hack, betting my pay on a gray bird to win it all. Tree and coons, full moon, shooting clays, fat chew, burning rubber, Bible thumping biscuits in a Dutch oven, washing it down with a cold can of Mountain Dew. Well, I'm proud of where I come from, I ain't ashamed of who I am. I'm a product of the Appalachian Hills, a modern day mountain man. Where the creeks run cold and the sun don't shine, and the young men spend their life in the mine. Die and breathe this way, a life most folks will never understand. Neon lights, start fights, good sharp pocket knife, raising hell, no bail, spend another night in jail. I'm no stranger to the cell, it ain't my first time. Shining bucks, no luck, at least I caught a little buzz. Roadblock up ahead, better hit the high ridge, turn rock, pop a knife underneath and I'll be tired. Laying gigs, paid dirt, picking till my fingers hurt, banjo ringing and the mandolin chirp chirps, while the bass thumps hard and lays the rhythm down. Late night, feeling right, holding that girl tight, being loud on the town, setting up another round. After last call, I'm gonna lay that woman down. Well, I'm proud of where I come from, I ain't ashamed of who I am. I'm a product of the Appalachian Hills, a modern day mountain man. Where the creeks run cold, the sun don't shine, and the young men spend their life in the mine. Die and breathe this way, a life most folks will never understand. Come from, I ain't ashamed of who I am. I'm a product of the Appalachian Hills, a modern day mountain man. Where the creeks run cold, the sun don't shine, and the young men spend their life in the mine. Die and breathe this way, a life most folks I die and breathe this way of life most folks will never understand. Thank you. That's good. Lead me on, break my heart, play your little games, use me up and throw me away, 'cause it don't hurt me anymore. Swear I think I'd get off on the pay when you use me away. I ain't never felt this way about a woman. Damn sure ain't never felt this kind of pain. Why can't you see all the love that you're missing? Instead you only want to play these games. Lead me on, break my heart, play your little games, use me up and throw me away, 'cause it don't hurt me anymore. Swear I think I get off on the pay when you use me away. You ain't never done nothing but abuse me. Somehow I just can't walk away. I'll always be your lover undercover. Never be good enough to be your man. Lead me on, break my heart, play your little game, use me up and throw me away, 'cause it don't hurt me anymore. Swear I think I'd get off on the pay when you use me, when you use me away. Thank you guys very much. That was called Use Me Away. We got a rowdy bunch in here tonight. This one's called Take Me Back to You. getting brighter as the sun slips down and the sky turns black. Well, tonight I've got a hunger for something that I'll never get back. There's a memory running rampant, conjuring up a bittersweet past. I'm feeling like we're a traveler, borrowed time from the hourglass. Take me back to you. Lord, 21 was so much fun. Take me back to you. Oh, the real world and these hard times begun. I used to lay down by the river, get high and watch the boats run by. I take off running through the timber, singing songs into the morning hour. Just living for the minute. I sow my seeds, both good and bad. Tender years took for granted. Oh, the good times, they never last. Take me back to you. Oh, 21 was so much fun. Take me back to you. Oh, the real world and these hard times begun. Heaven knows I'm getting older. I'm reminded by the gray in my hair, and the lines on my face are getting bolder. I can see it when I look in the mirror. It takes me more time to get going. Oh, each new wind keeps bringing this change. And the palms of my hands are getting rougher, earning my way. Take me back to you. Lord, 21 was so much fun. Take me back to you. Oh, the real world and these hard times begun. Oh, the real world and these hard times begun. Oh, the real world and these hard times begun.
Now here's Red Barn Radio's Brad Becker.
If you've just joined us, we are hosting Charlie Woods and Deep Hollow on the Red Barn Radio program tonight. Glad to have you guys with us. These guys are from eastern part of Kentucky, I guess out near Ashland?
Call it the tri-state area, like.
Tri-state? Okay,
it's a lot
good.
simpler, yeah.
All right, oh, good. So tri-state, Ohio, West Virginia, Kentucky area. And so are you all actually Kentuckians? And so, yeah, those of you who are Kentuckians, please raise your hand.
We got a couple Buckeyes in
And
the group.
oh, we do? Okay, all right.
Unfortunately. Bass players and mainland players are hard to find, so sometimes you
Yeah,
gotta cross
sometimes
the
you.
river.
Oh man, that's good. So where are you? So bass player. Where? Yeah. So I'm sorry. I'm going to refer to you as J.D. Thomas rather than bass player from the rest of the program. J.D., can you step up to the mic? Tell us about where you're from.
Well, Kyle and I here are from Ironton, Ohio.
Both you and Kyle,
Yes.
so playing mandolin.
Pretty much the most southern point you can get in Ohio. And before anybody asks, no, it's not Cincinnati. You can go 2.5 hours further south than Cincinnati.
So this is Ironton.
Yes.
Okay. Did you grow up there?
Grew up there, born and raised.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about Ironton.
We're known for football and
For
used to have
high
a whole
school
lot
football?
Yeah, high school football.
Okay, yeah.
Now, we did have a pro team back in the 20s, the Ironton Tanks, who turned into the Portsmouth Spartans, who are now the Detroit Lions.
Oh, come on.
No, dead serious. Dead serious.
All right.
So we have a rich history of football. Kind of fell off in the last couple of years, but we're getting back there.
What a great, it sounds like a football team.
Yeah. Well,
Ironton.
Ironton Fighting Tigers.
Yeah.
Arnton.
Arnton?
A-R.
So it's pronounced Arnton? That's by the people who live across the, what, across the river on the other side. What do you guys, how do you pronounce it?
We call it Arnton.
Oh, you do? Okay, it's the real deal.
Their southern drawl has kind of carried over across the river to us. So
Well,
I know.
yeah, so tell us more about, I mean, but it doesn't sound right for me to say that.
It's actually a historical town on the riverbank, and we were known for taking iron ore out of the hills and getting it down to the river and moving it on out. We were potentially set up to be the next Pittsburgh, but we were going to be Pittsburgh before Pittsburgh.
What
we ended
happened?
up with we got a library out of it, the Briggs Lawrence County Library. They decided to go in a different way and didn't think that was going to be.
So Briggs, who was Briggs? Do you know who was the Briggs guy or
He's the guy
gal?
that screwed it up for Ironton.
What else about Arnton? And you can join in, Kyle, if you want to. You have a mic by you too. But, yeah, step up to the mic. So we got Kyle. That he's prepared a few comments about Arnton for us this evening.
A little run downtown, kind of, but I love it. I'm staying there. So,
Yeah?
yeah.
Why are you staying there? Just because that's just where
I
you
just
grew up?
know
It's
all the
just
people.
Your roots are
and
there.
I'm just used to the people and everything. I just love the town, man.
Yeah.
It's a good town. It's just, you gotta love it. I don't know.
Yeah. So Kyle, is
stay
there
there.
any sign of I'm sorry, I'm just going to say Ironton, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's
Is there any signs of Ironton sort of bouncing back, or developing some new economy, or?
Maybe, I mean,
Travel and tourism
yeah,
is the way it's going to have to be.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, it's great to have you guys here, and I've learned a lot already about that town. And, sorry. So, okay. Yeah, I got you. Step up to the mic and tell us what are you saying there, Josh? Josh is making a comment that's making everybody laugh.
I said I think they have a Domino's. I know they have a Tudors. If you all don't have Tudors down this way, it's a good.
Oh, that's so funny. I thought you said they play dominoes.
Oh, they probably do.
Well, so why? So if I do go there, tell me one place I should stop, Kyle, other than Domino's, because I've been to one of those. Tell me about one local spot where I should stop, because I do go through that way a lot.
Is that by Kyle?
Good. Okay. No. Okay. We're gonna get.
You can always stop by Kyle's house.
Yeah,
it's kind of fun
oh.
down there.
Yeah.
we have fun. I tell you what, if you're ever coming down through, just let me know. We have a couple nice places down the river we go to, but
Oh, all right. Good. I will.
nothing
I'm-
spectacular.
Okay. I am gonna call you. Nothing on Travel Advisor or. Okay. All right. All right.
There's not much there.
Well, anyway, I'm looking forward to seeing it. Hey, how about others of you in this motley crew? Is it Molly?
Yeah, Molly.
Molly, yeah. Tell us about you, Molly. And have you played with these guys for a while?
Not for very long, just about the last month. JD sent me a message asking if I wanted to play, and it's been awesome. I live in Ashland, Kentucky.
Okay. Okay. There's some people clapping for Ashland out here, and Ashland, of course, is the sort of easternmost big city in Kentucky.
Yes.
For those of you who are not from this region. And Molly, are you trained as a fiddler or trained as a violinist?
Well, I've been classically trained as a violinist.
Okay.
And I'm an orchestra teacher for the Ashland Independent School District.
All right.
So that's my daytime job.
So that's a high school job.
High school and middle school.
Oh,
So
all right.
I'm split. I have 3 periods at the high school and 3 at the middle school.
Same campus?
No.
Oh,
So I
okay.
drive between them. It's only about a mile though.
Uh-huh.
Start them in 6th grade and they continue on all the way through 12th.
So you get yourself a music education degree to do this kind of work?
Yes, I have a bachelor's in music education and violin performance and a master's in of music
Yeah.
in music education, string pedagogy.
Oh, neat. Give a hand for string pedagogy. And yeah, where'd you go to school?
I went to Marshall for my undergrad, and then I went to the Frost School of Music at the University of Miami in Miami, Florida for grad school.
All right. Well, nice to have you here. Really enjoy your playing a lot.
Thank you.
Does this music work well with somebody who's classically trained, like technique-wise? And
Yeah, and I mean, I grew up like in West Virginia, actually, right outside of Charleston, West Virginia, and my dad always loved country music, so did my mom. They took me to festivals throughout my entire childhood. So my dad, like, soon as I got a violin and started strings class, was like, hey, learn how to play this. So he would like play something for me and I'd figure it out by ear, you know, for him. So this has always been something that I've loved. This music's a part of our culture.
yeah. Well, very neat. Nice to have you here.
Thank
and
you.
Thanks for what you add to the music. Okay, Charlie, step up, man. You're Did you think that I was going to leave you for last, or would you think I was going to?
I don't know. I don't know what to expect.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, we'll surprise you here. So, so one thing I wanted to say is these are really tight-sounding songs. So it sounds as if you guys all live
Oh,
in.
you think so?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Because I'm hearing every little thing that I'm doing
Really?
and we're doing. Yeah.
I don't think there's anybody here who's hearing what you're
I know,
hearing.
but we're all really picky and hard on ourselves. So
Are you really?
I'm sure it sounds all right, but in our head we're like,
So does that make practicing and playing out hard or challenging or?
yeah, no, not really.
No. Okay. I mean, you guys don't get grumpy at each other. do you,
No,
ever?
no.
You guys always enjoy each other. Mm-hmm. Good.
Yeah, we get along great.
I was giving you an opportunity to lie, and I think you took that opportunity.
No,
which
we
is good.
all we haven't really been playing together really, really long. Like Molly said, she's been with us for a month, and
Yeah.
it's been an absolute blessing because it filled in an area we didn't even know was missing. And we actually, me and Josh had been playing for we played in a band. All right, so we're gonna take it way back. We played
Yeah.
in a little 3-piece. And I kind of stepped away from the 3-piece to try to do my own songwriting stuff. And later on down the road, I invited Josh to start playing bluegrass. And we tried forming a bluegrass band, and it was tough. He was going through school. We didn't have time. We couldn't find people. And then this year, it was like January that I got acquainted with JD on Facebook. And we went to go jam at his house. And the same night, he's like, well, I know a manual player. He lives down the road. I was like, well, call him. He called him in one night. Everything just like, it's like that.
And so the original plan though was to bluegrass.
Yeah.
Ensemble, okay.
Well, if you want to call it that. I really don't feel like we're technically a bluegrass band.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you define what you are when people ask? Like I'm asking. I don't need to ask because I'm listening.
Right. It's just, it's easy to call it bluegrass, but I really don't. I don't know. I can be kind of a music snob, so like I feel like music's. I don't know. It's a really, trust me, like we can talk about this for hours.
Well,
yeah. There's just like a lot of conservative like listeners, and people want to hear the music the way that they define it. So like the way that I define bluegrass is like I'm thinking like Bill Monroe, Flat Scruggs, people like that, Del McCurry. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
a classic tune. And then you have progressive bluegrass, which is like Newgrass Revival, and in my opinion, Lonesome River Band. They're a little bit progressive and stuff like that.
So you guys call yourself progressive.
Pretty much, yeah. Progressive bluegrass. It's a really way, but it's more like singer-songwriter, folk, Appalachian, country, singer-songwriter, blues, like.
Yeah,
all
right.
in one.
So it pulls together a lot of different things. Yeah, and lyrically, I guess that maybe is one of the things that really sets it apart.
Yeah, it really is. Like, I grew up listening to like all kinds of different music, and like I've noticed like in my songs that I write, like all my songs aren't like the same timing, and they're not really grassy. And I think a lot of that has to do with like just the really wide variety of music that I listened to growing up.
Yeah.
Because I started bluegrass, but you know, throughout the years playing and listening to music, like I went through everything, like metal, rock, rap music. I mean, I listened to everything, yeah. But always levitated back to country and bluegrass.
So yeah, tell folks about like those early times for you when you were first getting exposed to bluegrass music.
Oh shoot!
In your area, where was that you were living?
It was at my house. Actually, it's probably one of the earliest memories that I ever have. I was about 6 years old, and my neighbor at the time, his name was Ronnie Colgrove. He used to have a bluegrass jam every Friday night in his garage. And when I was little, I'd slip out of the house, walk across the field, and I'd go over there and sit, and there'd be anywhere from 5 to 15 people, old men just sitting around, just picking and playing all night. Guys sitting back drinking coffee, old Milwaukee, smoking Winston's, just chewing on the fat and just music and just something. I don't know. I think that's really what started the spark for, you know, my love for bluegrass, because it was some of the earliest forms of music that I'd ever really listened to. And my dad also, he had a few old bluegrass cassette tapes, like old Bill Monroe Greatest Hits and Osborne Brothers Greatest Hits, and I really listened to that a lot as a kid.
So did you really like, when you say you slipped out of the house, was it like you know,
sometimes,
secretively?
yeah. Sometimes, yeah. But most of the time they knew where I was at, because the neighbor would call, "Hey, Charlie's over here," and just letting y'all know. You know, so
yeah, I have some neighbors who call all the time when my cat ends up in their garage and says, "Hey, he's over here. He's eating a hot dog. Is that okay?"
Is it a good call or a bad call?
No, it's all right. It's all right. My cat has 3 legs, so it's kind of cool that it makes a
That he can make it that far.
yeah, down the way. Hey, so we've got a lot of talking to do, but why don't we get back to some music, and then we'll come back and pick up where we left off. All right, folks, you're listening to Charlie Woods and Deep Hollow. Welcome them back.
So this next one I'm going to do, I love telling this story. It's been a while back. My wife had asked me to write her a sweet love song. And I am not a sweet love song type guy. I don't listen to love songs. I don't like songs that make me feel feelings. I don't like to talk about my feelings, let alone express my feelings to my wife through song. So I had a really, really hard time trying to do this. It was something completely new, writing a love song. And I'd got together the chorus of this song, and I was on fire. I was like, oh, yeah, I got something good cooking here. She's really going to like this. And it took me maybe like a week or two to actually wrap it up. And I'll never forget, I came home from work, and I grabbed my guitar because I had it in my head. And I sat her down, and she was excited, and I was super nervous. And I was sitting in a chair. She was sitting on the couch, and I didn't look at her one time when I was playing this because I felt like it was a really intimate, personal song to me. And I'll never forget when I got done looking up, and she was sitting like this. And I said, and there was a long pause. I said, well, did you like it? She goes, it was okay. So it wasn't the song that she was looking for or expecting, and it wasn't the reaction that I was expecting. But I do believe that this one has grown on her, and it's called If It Wasn't For You. Going the wrong way on a one-way, fueled up on cocaine with a pedal mashed to the floor. I was tired of speeding, I sure was needing an angel to heal my poor soul. I was never a believer of a good woman either, too deep my old rounder ways. But your beauty got to me, and your loving cut through me, and my heart was never the same. And if it wasn't for you, I'd probably still be stoned. I'd be running the nightclubs and honky tonks, chasing them neon rainbows. Well, you taught me a new way, showed me this new thing called love. If it wasn't for you, I'd probably still be stoned. I said I'd never settle and I'd never get mellow, and no woman would ever chain me down. I couldn't have been more wrong, 'cause when you came along, honey, you made me crow. But now your love gets me higher than any old desire. Just a kiss from you fills my soul. Until death do us part, forever you'll hold my heart, and nothing could ever come between. If it wasn't for you, I'd probably still be stoned. I'd be running the nightclubs and honky tonks, chasing them neon rainbows. Well, you taught me a new way, showed me this new thing called love. If it wasn't for you, I'd probably still be stoned. If it wasn't for you, I'd probably still be stoned.
That's pretty sweet, wasn't it? I thought so.
That was a reaction.
That was actually the reaction I was looking for. Whew, excuse me. So this next one I'm going to do, I like to tell that story before I do this next one. It took me a little bit, but I actually did write a love song for my wife. And it's a pretty personal song because it kind of talks about a relationship, and it took me a long time before I could it's a really weird tuning for the banjo, so it always takes them like 5 minutes to tune. But it took me a while before I could sing this one because it was really personal to me. And I don't really have a flashy name for it, so I'll just call it Love Song for now until I can come up with something better. Or if somebody has a better name for it, I'd appreciate it. 1, 2, 3. Come listen now, you fellas, to a story of true love, of a thoughtless and unworldly boy and an angel from above. It's an angel from above. His heart was dark as coal dust and hers was white as snow. He was rough around the edges, what she seen I'll never know. What she seen I'll never know. Her beauty was like a dogwood blooming in the spring, a young and tender mountain girl who only wanted love. it's only to be loved. But he loved to drink his whiskey and stay out late at night. His mind was full of sinful lust, chasing his own desires, chasing his own desires. Stronger than a wall of seasoned oak, and he knew he was what she wanted. Could she pierce his heart and soul? Could she pierce his heart and soul? Oh, her tears could flood her river, and she prayed for him each day. But her pleading cry he wouldn't hear. Why she stayed, I do not know. Why she stayed, I do not know. She would go to church on Sundays with a burden heavy low, asking to the Lord above what to do, I do not know. Should I stay or should I go? Himself, but he knew he loved that tender girl, but he suffered how to show, didn't know how he could show. And one day finally realized he was full up with his pride, and the things she tried to tell him, she was always right. He's opened up his eyes. And upon one frosty morning to the altar he didn't go, and he asked to be forgiven of the wrongs that he had wrought, and the girl whose heart he broke. Now they sit and age together, and he tells her every day how much he loves his pretty wife, and he'll love her to the grave. I'll love her to the grave. Thank you. Woo! What's that?
Bass is right.
So this next one I'll do is probably one of the first songs I ever wrote. I wrote it when I was a teenager. And it's called Burn You Off My Mind. You good, JD? Didn't get low when broke another good girl's heart. And just like the other times, you know that it was my own damn fault. Oh, but I tried so hard to be good. But when that whiskey gets inside of me, you know it ain't no good. I should've known, Lord, my rambling ways get the best of me. honey, right now it's getting far too dark to see. And I know I said I never do you no wrong, but when that sun goes down, baby, it's so hard to be strong. So I'm gonna get high, Lord, and burn you off of my mind. Yes, I'm gonna get high, Lord, oh so high, and burn you off of my mind. No, it's been so hard for me after what she had done to me. I've come a long, long way with your help. Now I see myself looking in the mirror, trying to see things a little clearer. But I see myself doing the same damn things to you. So I'm gonna get high, Lord, and burn you off of my mind. Yes, I'm gonna get high, Lord, oh so high, and burn you off of my mind. Thank you guys.
Red Barn Radio is brought to you by Broussard's Delta Kitchen, where Chef Greg Scott features authentic flavors of New Orleans and the Mississippi Delta with live music every weekend. Broussard's is located on Main Street in historic Georgetown, Kentucky, and you can also find them on Facebook.
Also brought to you by Listen Locally, working in concert with people to embrace every opportunity to listen locally and engage in a variety of shared experiences, including music, theater, poetry, dialogue, and even conversation. There's more on Facebook, Instagram, and listenlocally.net.
Griffin Gate Resort and Spa, located in the Marriott in Lexington, Kentucky, is a perfect spot for your next visit to Lexington, Kentucky.
And AccuPrint is Red Barn Radio's print provider, providing printing, design, and fulfillment. See them online at accuprint.us.
And now, folks, welcome to the second half of tonight's Red Barn Radio program. Red Barn Radio is coming to you live from the Performance Hall at Arts Place here in the great city of Lexington, Kentucky. Please welcome back Charlie Woods and Deep Hollow.
So this next one that we're going to do kind of ties in with what JD was talking about earlier with Ironton. Back where we're from, kind of like the tri-state area, at one point in time, was, if anyone's not from around there, it was a pretty industrial area. There was a lot of jobs, and a lot of those jobs kind of revolved around. We had several steel mills up and down the river. There's probably 10 or 15 steel mills. You had Iron, which was a huge iron mill. Then you had we had AK Steel. I mean, there's a ton of them. And the coke plants, which was the product that you used to make steel. Up down the river, we had CSX, which is the company I work for right now. At one time, it was the world's largest yard, and the main thing that we ran through our yard was coal because it was the easiest, biggest moneymaker. And over the years, it's not just been one thing, but over the years we've been seeing that kind of dry up and shrink, and you can't really just point your finger on one thing. But along with all the industry, so did kind of all these little boom towns, and the jobs just been drying up. I know we've been getting hit pretty hard at home. They shut down the coke plant, which was a really good paying job. They shut down AK Steel, which was a really good paying job, and they've been cutting like crazy at the railroad. It's just basically what I'm getting as one by one. We've been seeing a lot of jobs, leave our area, and a lot of it, like I said, was focused around coal. And I wrote this song in light of that, basically more or less about regulations that really crippled a dying industry. And this is called Progress and Change. My grandpa was a carman on the C&O lines. He worked there 40 years until they made him retire. And I remember him telling me the times would get tough, but I never knew what he meant until I grew up. As a child, down along the railroad track I'd play, watching 100 cuts of coal roll down the line all day. Now I walk along the same old rail, not a drop of coal I see, but an empty yard, a closed down shop, and broom sage to my knee. And now the mines are all covered and the coal plant went under. The railroad ain't running many trains. The jobs here are drying and the steel mills are dying, but the family's lost in good paying ways. How alone seen the time when our boom towns were in their prime, when a man could find work and good pay. Our lifeblood they took away to make the world a cleaner place, and they told us it was progress and change. I'm one of the few left to still work the rail, and it breaks my heart to see the whole yard so stale. My hometown once had the world's largest yard, but now it's 2 miles long with empty tracks and freight cars. And now the mines are all covered and the coke plant went under. The railroad ain't running many trains. The jobs here are drying and the steel mills are dying, but the family's lost in good paying ways. How alone seen the time when our boom towns were in their prime, when a man could find work and good pay. Their lifeblood they took away to make the world a cleaner place, and they told us it was progress and change. My daddy's side were railroad men and mama's dug coal. It wasn't the best work, but it's all that they'd known. And I know I'm a blessed man to follow their tracks. But oftentimes I wonder how long it'll last. Now that the mines are all covered and the coal plant went under, the railroad ain't running many trains. The jobs here are drying and the steel mills are dying, and the family's lost in good paying ways. How long has seen the time when our boom towns were in their prime, when a man could find work and good pay? Well, lifeblood took away to make the world a cleaner place, and they told us it was progress and change. Yeah, our lifeblood they took away to make the world a cleaner place, and they told us it was progress and change. Thank you, guys. We have to tune a lot. I'm sorry. I do a lot of songs in really weird keys, and sometimes I change them, and it takes a while. But hopefully, in about 30 years, we'll have everything straightened up where we can do it all in a row. This one here is one I wrote pretty much about growing up. It's called "That Was Life." I remember my granny rocking me on a squeaky black front porch swing, listening to an old whippoorwill, watching lightning bugs light up the sky, all wrapped up and snug real tight in a ragged quilt she'd sewn just for me. She would tell me jokes and sing me songs and pet my head till I dozed off, and I'd wake up to the smell of bacon grease. She'd roll the dough and I'd play in the flour, making cat head biscuits in the morning hours. That homemade apple butter tastes so darn sweet. It's the little things stuck in my mind, like fetching coal to feed the fire and tobacco fields as far as I could see. Whittling sticks with my old case knife, catching creek chub minnows with some fishing line, listening to the hound dogs run all night. Yeah, that was life. nice. We'd sit outside underneath the shade tree by the old coal pile. There was always someone passing by. We'd drop in, stay a while, and I'd take off barefoot through the creek. My old coon hound, cousin and me, catching crawdads and skipping stones, gigging bullfrogs all night long, and I couldn't wait until the fall. When deer season came, we'd have a ball, waking up early, chasing white-tailed bugs. My kin would come from all around, wondering who laid the big one down and get the bragging rights the rest of the year. It's the little things stuck in my mind, like fetching coal to feed the fire and tobacco fields as far as I can see. Whittling sticks with my old case knife, catching creek chub minnows with some fishing line, listening to the hound dogs run all night. Yeah, that was life. Yeah, that was my life. Thank you all. This next one I'm going to do is about a little place back home in Greenup County where I spent a lot of time as a kid, and you know what I'm talking about, don't you, Matt Meyer? I spent a lot of time there as a kid, and got into a whole bunch of honoring this whenever I got older, and I wrote a song about it. It's called Aqualoop. Over yonder across the hillside, a couple miles the way the crow flies, is a little piece of ground my granddad bought when I was 3. It was a rowdy little campground by the little sandy river, and every time I pass on by it, I reminisce about my teens. I'd spend my summers by fire, catching catfish neath the moonlight, and picking my guitar at a bluegrass jam all night. Was the summer of my senior year I got my first taste of freedom. I took part in them ornery things I was told I shouldn't do. And I've had times that were good there, and I've had times that were bad. Most of the times I can recall was the most fun I ever had. I didn't worry about tomorrow or the things that I had to do. I was young, dumb, and reckless, 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Soon as the school bell would ring, I'd fly down the holler and pick up my buddy's dad, an old feller named Frank. He'd get all the booze that I want, never ask me for $1, just some good conversation and a cold bottle of pop. I'd buy some smoke next door and call up all my rowdy friends, and we'd howl at the moon until the sun would come on. Had several women on the line who were always willing to give me the time to hang around all night and keep me company. I've had times that were good there, and I've had times that were bad. Most of the times I can recall was the most fun I ever had. I didn't worry about tomorrow or the things that I had to do. Was young, dumb, and reckless, 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Down there, we're a special breed of people. Most folks would call them drunkards, but I called them my friends. They showed me how to have a good time, like water on a duck's back. Let the good times roll, 'cause tomorrow might not come. They were twice my age, but they hung right there beside of me and would go just as hard as my young body could go. They were full of life, a bunch of hillbilly poets teaching me the ways of their happy redneck zen. I've had times that were good there, and I've had times that were bad. Most of the times I can recall was the most fun I ever had. I didn't worry about tomorrow or the things that I had to do. I was young, dumb, and reckless, 10 foot tall and bulletproof. Now the times they've changed since I left that soggy bottom for a pretty little lady and to start a brand new life. I walked away from the good times for a job and to walk the line, 'cause everybody knows that them lifestyles don't mix. Now most of my old buddies have too soon passed on, while some of the others are serving time in the pen. And the loot just ain't the same, it's a whole lot milder than it used to be back in my hellion days. And I've had times that were good there, and I've had times that were bad. Most of the times I can recall was the most fun I ever had. Didn't worry about tomorrow or the things that I had to do. I was young, dumb, and reckless, 10 foot tall and bulletproof. I was young, dumb, and reckless, 10 foot tall and bulletproof. That's a true story.
Once again, here's Red Barn Radio's Brad Becker.
Charlie, it sounds like your grandpa played large in your life. You also, you mentioned him in Progress and Change too, that tune. Back when you were a little kid, he encouraged you in music too?
Yeah, actually, I'll tell you how I started playing. I was about 9 or 10, and my grandpa had bought me. He got me a guitar. It's just this little old cheap flea market like Jap guitar, and he told me if you can learn a song on it, then I'll get you a different guitar. And I was thinking about this today. Actually, I don't think I've ever told him. I have a friend, Matt Pennington. I don't know if he's watching this, but I was at a friend of mine, Matt Pennington's house, and he taught me my very first guitar song, and it was this. And it was on. And it was on. Like, once I figured out I can play music, and then I wanted more and more, and I started reading tabs, and I learned all the basics, Iron Man, Dream On, Stairway to Heaven, Sweet Home Alabama. Like all the basics.
Yeah.
And he actually, I can't take you serious, Matt. He actually got me another guitar as I got older, and he invested in some lessons when I was younger. So he really did help me a lot as far as getting me started in music.
So have you ever found yourself getting into collecting instruments? Oh yeah,
that's my wife.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think she's tired
where's your
of
wife
them.
out there?
The pretty gal.
Oh,
front there.
all right. Well, there's so many pretty ones in the house.
The prettiest one.
Yes. Oh yeah, gotcha. Okay, I see you. Right.
The reddest one right now.
The horribly unsentimental one who couldn't appreciate that beautiful love song that you wrote for her. That was just.
I think she liked
so
the second.
tender.
I don't think she didn't like it. I think she likes
Yeah, I
the
get
second one better. I think she just wasn't what she was expected.
Oh, I thought they were both awesome. But yeah, I think if I were her, the second one would have,
Hit you a little bit
tugged my
better.
heartstrings. Yeah. But go on though. What were you talking about? Oh, collecting guitars.
Oh yeah, yeah. And as a kid, like I played mainly guitar, but I dabbled in everything. I was around bluegrass, so I picked up a dobro, I had a had a bass. I've got actually 2 mandolins. What else do I got? I've got like 3 or 4 guitars. You don't even know. I've got a dulcimer. I got a banjo. My grandpa bought me a banjo too when I was younger, and I dabbled a lot in all those.
So are you coming clean right now? Are you telling your wife about some instruments that you
Oh
have
no,
that
she knows
didn't
all
even know
about them.
Okay.
She complains about it
Okay,
sometimes
good.
when I leave them sitting out. But no, I got a little bit of everything in the house. Really got too much. When I was younger, I had a lot more time, so I could play a lot of different stuff. But you know, really anymore, I play guitar more than anything.
Yeah, so when it came to bluegrass players, acoustic players, who were the guys who just, you know, knocked you out?
As far as players,
Yeah.
that's always a really
I mean,
tough
early
question.
on, yeah.
I would have to say, without a doubt, Tony Rice. I really admire his playing. I mean, he really changed bluegrass forever.
For people who don't know, I mean, for the 2 listeners out there who don't know who Tony Rice is,
Right.
explain how you know, from your vantage point, how he changed bluegrass.
Well, bluegrass pretty much, this is just my opinion. Bluegrass was really in the 50s and the 60s, like the Bill Monroe area. It was really traditional sounding. Then in the early 70s, you know, Tony Rice played with Sam Bush and Courtney John, and they had Newgrass Revival, and they weren't playing it like, you know, Bill Monroe and them did. It wasn't it was, you know, it wasn't that.
yeah.
I mean, he just completely, you know, it's like, I'd say, well, people's like, what the heck is that? They didn't
Yeah.
have Monroe done it, you know? And like he completely changed the way that bluegrass was made, in my opinion. And then after him, you had a lot of bands too. For example, the Country Gentlemen, like I consider them for their time, they were really progressive. The Osborne Brothers in the 70s, they had drums. Like in the early, like 1971, like they had drums in some of their sets. Could you imagine going to like a bluegrass festival in like Eastern Kentucky or like Virginia and bringing drums up there with all
I
those
cannot.
people? You know. But I think he really set a standard for a lot of guitar pickers. And what's really cool about him is like, what amazes me is that, like I said, he set that standard. Like you're going to hear his licks from now on out, and like in my opinion, because there are still people like nowadays that are kind of mimicking and building off those bass pentatonic scales that he started, you know, 40, 50 years ago.
And he signed that iconic D28 wartime instrument.
Oh yeah, and you know it's him too. That's like I can just be listening to like an instrumental and like I'll hear like if I hear something, if it's him playing, like I can pick up on it. Like that's Tony.
Huh. What about Doc? Listen to Doc Watson.
Dude, you literally took the words out of my mouth. Those were going to be my 2 biggest influential musicians.
Very different
honest to God,
players,
Doc
too.
Watson and Tony Rice. And I really, really love Doc because of how traditional that he always kept it. You know what I mean? He was another one that really kind of set a standard for like traditional flat picking.
Right, sort of right. So he was one I think is credited for, you know, turning the guitar into a real bluegrass solo instrument where the fiddle and mandolin were kind of it.
Right.
For so long, and he turned it and made it into a different kind of thing. And he had sort of a softer sound.
Yeah.
You know, he liked mahogany.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that was his thing.
Yeah, it was like a denser tone.
And so, what about other guitarists then who have taken? So those are, I mean, Tony Rice takes you the progressive direction. Doc, the more conventional. Yeah.
Doc Watson.
Yeah. Did you ever hear Doc play?
I never, videos. I would have gave anything to, you know, as a kid to be able to see him, but you know, unfortunately, I think he passed away when I was, you know, pretty young.
Yeah.
So I never really did have a chance to see him, but I've watched a ton. You know what? Let me tell you a funny story about that. So for years, like I listened to Doc Watson as a kid. It wasn't until like I was probably 17, 18, and I got my own computer in my room. I had internet, I had YouTube. And I would watch Doc Watson videos. Yeah, I was like, freedom! And I was watching Doc Watson videos, and it was really weird because I finally picked up that he was sitting in this chair and he was squinting like this. And I was like, what is he? Has he got something in his eye? What's wrong with him? And I was like, what's up? And then
that's so
later
funny.
on, he's talking to him, and then I found out he was blind. And it absolutely blew my mind that, just that raw talent that he could play the way he did, and he was blind. And it was also weird because I'd listened to him and talked about him all my life, and no one ever mentioned to me that he was blind. I never knew that.
Yeah, right. It was almost like it wasn't important.
But no, it wasn't. But it just to think that just really just impresses me.
Yeah.
That it's all just just
incredible.
muscle memory. Yeah, he just knows it. Which he come from a really. Did you ever listen to Doc Watson much? Like
Yeah.
Stuff. Have you ever heard the Watson Family album?
No.
It's a really really old Smithsonian album. But his whole family apparently they all played music, and that's kind of where he grew up around it. So and when you're 30s and 40s back in the middle. I think he was from North Carolina.
Yeah. Right.
Asheville, North Carolina, I think. And, that's all that they'd known, and they were really isolated. So that's how their families spent time, writing songs, playing songs, and it's just really, really special.
So you were talking earlier, I thought it was interesting, you were talking earlier about some things that you aren't comfortable writing about, or talking about, much less writing about, and one being love and your feelings. But this doesn't seem like normal for a person who decides he's going to do songwriting. I mean, songwriters, do songwriting to get their feelings out on the table, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. Never really looked at it that way. But see, honestly, I never really started singing and playing like this until like a couple of years ago.
Huh.
I wrote a little bit of stuff in and out of there, but for a long time, I never played. I never sang. You could not get me to sing when I was younger. Actually, up to probably 3 years ago. I started singing in church. I started going to church out on Little Sandy. And one of the women there, Linda Stevenson, found out that I played guitar and sang. And then, she more or less, shoved me up there and made me play and sing with her. And then that kind of built up a confidence to where I started getting out and playing and singing more. But, when I was a kid and I go to those jam sessions, they try to get me to sing. I'm like, no, I just want to play. I just, I don't know. It was weird. I didn't have that confidence. I still really don't have confidence. I'm just, a lot more comfortable. I don't really care because I'm not a perfect, I'm not a perfect musician. I'm not a perfect singer, perfect player, or by any means. But I really enjoy it.
But you got a lot to say, and it was, we were talking earlier about the difference between sort of traditional and progressive bluegrass. It seems like what your music still has so many elements of, lyrically, have so many elements of the best bluegrass. There's nostalgia there, or there's a real connection to the natural world. The last song. What was the last song you just did? That was Life. There's a lot of great imagery there, and an obvious real connection to your natural surroundings. That's always been a big part of bluegrass music. So I found that just really interesting, and then the theme of community, is really strong. How people rely on each other and care for each other, and that's cool stuff. But I like hearing your stories.
Thank you.
And hearing about the life that you've lived. So it's really neat.
Thanks. That's one thing. I like writing songs. I'm not really good at making stuff up. I'm not a very good liar or fibber. I'm just not. I'm not good at it. So it's really hard for me to just make something up. Most of the stuff that I write is stuff that I went through or experienced, or I have someone real close going through. I kind of just write what I know, and I don't really write down lyrics first. I kind of base most of it off of a melody. I'll hear a melody, or I'll be playing on my guitar, and whatever that melody, just what kind of emotion that'll bring out, is kind of basically what I just start writing off of.
You ever feel like you're going to run out of material?
No, I don't think so. I still got a lot of living left. Lord willing, I got a lot of living left.
Yeah, right.
So
and change is always going on, right? The change of marriage, obviously a huge one for you, right? It's sort of big. It's always a turning point.
Oh yeah.
Well, I thank you for coming tonight and for talking with me. It was really great to hear your music. Enjoyed meeting all of you in the band. Oh, actually, you know what? Before we get on with more music, we have not said anything to Josh. Could you introduce us? Can you just introduce us to Josh? Just introduce us to Josh and then could we just tell a couple of banjo jokes even?
Yeah, you're in for a treat. This is Mr. Josh Hensley from Ashland, Kentucky. He loves to talk. Look at him.
He says
no.
He says
no,
no.
I don't
He says no.
want
I'm
to talk.
not going to talk, but he's
here.
still moving. He's still moving toward the microphone. So I think we got him just for a minute.
I just wanted to say, because there might be a couple of people
Sure.
watching. One, our band Shaman. No one's mentioned our band Shaman. We have a band Shaman. He burns.
Step up a little closer if you don't mind.
We
That's
have a
okay.
band Shaman, and he burns sacred wood, and he's probably doing that right now. But it's Paul Brown, and his Facebook name is Paul Brown AF. So you just need to check him out, get a hold of him for any of your shaman needs.
Does he have a website? I assume.
Just
or
the Facebook. I don't know if he
Instagram
I don't think does he.
just right. Just teasing. So are banjo jokes a thing anymore?
I'm the butt of a lot of them. Yeah.
Really? Can I mean, would it be wrong for could you lay one out there for us?
I mean,
like
I think
maybe
the one I've heard most of the time, which isn't always true, is how do you know if the stage at a bluegrass festival is level? And that is if the spit is coming out of both sides of the banjo player's mouth. So, yeah.
snare. Do we have a rim
we don't
shot
have one.
by any chance? Josh, it's good to meet you even briefly. So next time you guys come back, we'll start with you. Okay. Great. Great to meet all of you. Thanks a lot for being with us. Folks, let's get back to some music with Charlie Woods and Deep Hollow.
Thank y'all. Still learning. You take the first one? Still learning, I think. You take the first one, then you take the second one, right? Or no, you take the second one. Sorry, we a few of these. I've got quite a few songs we usually don't do. Some of them. This is one that these next two are ones we don't usually do. So we're gonna kind of be going on the fly with this. This one here is called "Still Learning." It's about a lot of hard lessons. I put myself in many a bind. My life has been an uphill climb, finding all my answers at the bottom of a glass. I've had my eyes swollen shut from my big mouth. I love to run, but I've gave my fair share of thumping. My mama did the best she could to make sure that I understood the consequences for all of my actions. She grabbed a limb off a cigar tree and swore my tail until it bleed, but I ain't saying I didn't deserve it. Well, life's a blast, you're living fast, pouring coal on a highball train running down a one-way track. I've made some bad decisions and I ain't much on discerning, but the good Lord and me both know I'm still learning. Drag my kin and me to Sunday school every week. I'll never forget that feeling of conviction. But I kept in mind his redeeming grace and the awful price he had to pay for a chance that I could make it on the glory. Caught between a boy and man, every day's a brand new plan. Lord knows I ain't getting any younger. But I did my time for the wrongs I'd done in the chilly cell. To sober up, a jail cell ain't no place for a younger. Well, life's a blast, you're living fast, pouring coal on a highball train running down a one-way track. I've made some bad decisions and I ain't much on discerning, but the good Lord and me both know I'm still learning. Every day I hope and pray my young'uns they won't stray away and head down a path of disaster. I hope you take these songs I sing into the Lord. They will cling, 'cause ain't nothing good comes out of rambling. Well, life's a blast when you're living fast. Pouring cold on a highball train running down a one-way track. I've made some bad decisions and I ain't much on discerning, but the good Lord and me both know I'm still learning. Yeah, I've made some bad decisions and I ain't much on discerning, but the good Lord and me both know I'm still learning. Thank y'all. This next one's going to make me a little nervous. This is one I've been kind of afraid to sing. It's really new. I don't think we've ever played this out anywhere, have we? So I'm going to give this one. This one's called Lonesome Over You. See, and here's another thing I was nervous about. I've done pretty good tonight. I'm really bad for forgetting my own songs. That's no joke. Like, I have been, like, on stage, like a Poppy Mountain. I tried to sing Redneck, and for, like, a minute and 30 seconds, I stood up there and strummed an E chord. I could not remember the verse to my own song. And it was super, super embarrassing. And I do it every now and then. And I was kind of worried I'll do it tonight, but so far, knock on wood, I haven't yet, and I've got some highlights here, so I shouldn't mess this up. But anyway, what I'm really worried about is I'm gonna yodel. I've been kicking around the idea of yodeling. I'm not claiming I'm the best. I'm not claiming this is gonna be perfect. It might be sharp, flat, I don't know. But give me some time. I think I can get it down right. But I'm gonna give this one here my best Bill Monroe yodel here. Of you only while I'm sitting lonely, pining, you're the only one I love. Like a fool I went and rambled, all your love I gambled, and I'm a heartsick son of a gun, and I'm lonely, so lonely. I'm so lonely. I said I'd quit my drinking, but your faith was slowly shrinking when you smelled that stinking bourbon on my breath. Knew something was wrong when I was late coming home, crashing around like a bull in a china shop, and I'm lonely, so lonely. I'm so lonely. I hang my head in shame, thinking of the awful deed I done. I lost my only one, my dearest honey bun. Now to another's arms she'll run, leaving me lonely, so lonely. I'm trying to get my best one. I'm so lonely. I'm lonely over you. That was okay. I feel like I could have done it better, but I struggled with it. I don't know what the problem is. I've struggled with cigarettes for years. And I have not been smoking these past few days, but like maybe one cigarette every now and then. And I think I'm actually coughing up tar from my lungs from where my body isn't. It's like actually rejecting where I've been smoking. That, and I think I may be getting a sinus infection. Somebody up here's got a cold too.
Sadly.
Well, this is the last one. I'll get her straightened out here. You nervous?
I want to do like what I told. We did a press. I don't know if you can hear me through this, but we did a thing at the press recording at the Ironton Tribune. And when I messed this break up, I told them I wanted to insert a clip of a really big man streaking on a soccer field, just while I'm messing it up, and then go back to the rest of the band when it's over. So if you have that technology, I would like that.
Yeah, can I get that too? That actually sounds like a really good idea. But anyway, this one here is called Please Wait For Me. And I'd like to thank everybody that's come out and listened to us tonight. This is really cool. I want to thank Red Barn for having us. Really appreciate this opportunity. This is kind of like a bucket list thing for us, and we've been looking forward to it for a while. And it's really, really cool to see a lot of familiar faces here tonight. And thank you all from the bottom of my heart for coming out and hanging out. But this last one we're going to do is called Please Wait For Me. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, the sun rig is winding low, and the sun is setting low over top those high Kentucky hills. As I stare at the bright pink sky, I wonder where you are tonight, and I think about the last words that you said. I've been living on the road, and I know it's took its toll, but I swore to you that forever I'd be true. And I know it's hard to love someone who's always gone, but I'd give it up, that's what it would take. Please, please wait for me, I'm heading north on 23. The thought of you with someone else breaks my heart. Please, please wait for me, I'm barreling up old 23. Hold you, girl, make it all alright. Took your place, and I'll say I've had my fun, but if it costs me you, I'm done. I trade it all to settle down with you. Please, please wait for me, I'm headed north on 23. The thought of you with someone else breaks my heart. Wait for me, I'm barely up on 23. Hold you, girl, make it all alright. Someone else breaks my heart. guys very much.
We would like to thank Charlie, Josh, JD, Kyle, and Molly, Charlie Woods, and Deep Hollow for being with us this evening. Wasn't it a fantastic show? We also thank our volunteers for their help with our production each week. We give a very special thanks to Becky Alfrey for all of her work on our social media and the photography of Nick Lazaroff. Thank you all for listening to our webcast, watching us on YouTube Live tonight, and those listening to us on the Red Barn network of stations. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, public radio for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.fm. It's your chance to hear more great live Kentucky music from Red Barn Radio and WEKU.
We also thank the members of our studio audience, not only for your hooting and hollering tonight, but also for supporting the mission of Red Barn Radio, which strives to present, promote, and preserve the rich musical tradition and artists of this Kentucky region and share this treasure with the world. Red Barn Radio comes to you from our home, the Arts Place Performance Hall in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. Our website has updates and further information on our guests and our program. We are on the web at redbarnradio.com. Tickets for Red Barn Radio are now available at eventbrite.com, Lexington.
Next week here on the Red Barn stage, we present the Wood Sheep. Since the Wood Sheep's inception in the summer of 2015, Andrew Preston's songwriting, experimental but rooted in deepest well springs of traditional folk music, and their quirky live shows have become among the most recognizable mainstays of Central Appalachia's burgeoning indie scene. Among their hallmarks, soaring harmonies, offbeat instrumentation, literally dense lyrics steeped in folk storytelling tradition, all balanced by a healthy penchant for the absurd. Doesn't that sound awesome? The sound from the mountains of Appalachia has long been swelling at its banks on the verge of spilling over the confines of folk and electronic music convention. And the Wood Sheep aim to highlight the diversity, creativity, and storytelling that abound their Eastern Kentucky home by shoring up their own roots. Be sure to join us next week for the Wood Sheep at our new time, 7 p.m., next on the Red Barn stage. And you think we could talk them into an encore? How about one more, folks? Charlie Woods and Deep Hollow.
Might have one more up our sleeve. Thank you guys very much.
All right. Well, folks, that's all of our Red Barn program here tonight, live from Lexington, Kentucky. You can see and hear us worldwide as we stream live on the web on YouTube Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern in North America. Our weekly program is also available on the WEKU app. Check out Red Barn Radio on demand. And now, from all of us to all of our friends worldwide, we wish you our very best and look forward to being with you again next week on Red Barn Radio.